Not everybody's day goes according to plan. A lot of people, when their day falls apart, go online and share what's happened. I share their stories with you. Epic Fails on Rock 107.
Have you heard about the lonesome loser? He's a loser, but he still keeps on trying.
My sister told me not to come over anymore because her baby is scared of my face.
You're already a loser.
I was in my kitchen with my mother, who's severely disabled and can barely walk. She suddenly slipped on a puddle of water, and I instinctively grabbed her from behind to save her from falling. It took me a moment to realize my hands are accidentally cupping her breasts.
You're a loser!
Their lack of success makes us feel better about our lives. Epic Fails on Rock 107. I got roasted in class because I could have sworn the story of Robin Hood was in the Bible. Guess I shouldn't repeat stuff my dad told me now that I'm in college.
Loser.
I was with my 3-year-old son in the doctor's office. During the exam, he informed the doctor he doesn't sleep in my bed anymore because Mommy sleeps in her underwear and farts all night long.
You are one pathetic loser.
Their defeat is our victory. Epic Fails on Rock 107. I mistakenly sent a voice message to my boss while imitating him in a comical way. The message contained my spot-on impression, complete with exaggerated jargon and phrases he uses frequently. I didn't realize it until I received a reply from him saying, LOL, nailed it.
You're a loser. A lazy, obnoxious loser.
I chipped my tooth on a beer bottle while I was drinking alone in my basement.
Breaking the news that's already broken. It's time for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
Apple is warning people to stop putting wet iPhones in bags of rice. Instead, if your iPhone gets wet, Apple says you should buy 3 new ones. The Northeast was hit hard by a norovirus outbreak, but the number one reason New Yorkers vomit remains the jets. The Odysseus lunar lander began transmitting from the moon, which tells me the Odysseus lunar lander does not use AT&T.
Making sure breaking news stays broken. Tune in tomorrow for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
People pleaser. And that's okay. That's not the worst thing in the world. But once in a while, it messes things up. I'm a pretty private person outside of everything I share here with you on the radio. Well, my wife, because she's a people pleaser, did something at school the other day, and well, she gave out my cell phone number to somebody. So we're going to get her on the line and see if we can't figure out why she did it and what she should do in the future.
Hello?
Hello, wife. So I want to talk about something that happened at school last week, the school where you work.
Okay.
Thursday, you were in the halls and you ran into someone who I know.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about this. I know a guy who teaches music at the school, one of the schools you work at, and his first name is Ron, correct?
Correct.
So you have not seen Ron. You didn't know he was there, but you knew I knew him, correct?
Yeah, I never met him before, really, because
So what happened on Thursday then?
I was with a student who said that their name, and I said, oh, I want to introduce myself. You know, my husband.
Okay. And then what happened?
And then he said, oh, yeah, I've known him a long time. And then we were talking about you. And then he said, you know what? I don't have his number anymore. I used to have it. And then I deleted a lot of numbers, and I think I may have deleted his.
All right. So he lost my phone number. So he says, what did you do at that point?
I said, oh, I could give you his number. Hang on.
And you gave him my phone number.
I did.
Now, why would you do that?
I don't know.
Now, don't get me wrong. Like, it's not that no one can have my phone number, but, you know, because of what I do for a living, I like to kind of limit that and make sure that people who have my phone number have a real reason to have it, right?
Right.
Now, the good news is Ron, who you gave it to, I'm fine with him having the number. So I'm not upset that Ron has my phone number. I just want to set the record straight that in the future, I don't care if my brother tells you he lost my number. What do you say?
Let me take your number and give it to him because
right.
he's weird.
Let's do it. Wait, what do you mean because he's weird? How am I weird?
I
want to protect
that.
my privacy. Is that so bad?
No, I won't say that.
Let me ask you a question. If you met Joe Snedeker's wife and said, "Oh, I lost Joe's number," do you think she'd hand you his phone number, or do you think she'd say, "Let me take your number and I'll give it to Joe"?
She would take my number.
Okay. If you ran into Mindy Ramsey's husband and you said, "Oh, I used to have Mindy's number. I lost it. Could you give it to me?" What do you think he would say?
They would take your number, but none of these people know me, so that's okay.
It doesn't matter. That's not the point. The point being is don't be handing my phone number out to people.
Okay,
All right,
I won't.
And if you want to tell my wife she's wrong, give her a call, 570.
No!
Oh, you don't like it either, huh?
No.
I'm beeping it. Relax. It's fine.
Okay.
But now you know the pressure.
No.
All right, so what happens when someone asks for my phone number, Tara?
Let me just take your number and I'll give it to him.
That's the answer. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What would you do with that kind of money? Good morning. I'm Rock 107's Prospector. Tens of thousands of AT&T customers were affected by a massive outage last week when a botched network update kept people from being able to use their cell phones for up to 12 hours. Customers were demanding to be reimbursed, and AT&T actually will credit their accounts. Each person will get a $5 credit applied automatically. And that may not seem like a whole lot of money, but AT&T says $5 is the average cost of a full day of service. So what should you do with your newfound wealth now that you've got that $5? Let me help you with today's list of top 5 things you can do with your AT&T reimbursement. Here we go. Number 5, buy a more reliable form of communication, like 2 cans connected by a string. Top 5 things you can do with your $5 AT&T reimbursement. Number 4, display it next to your Fire Festival tickets on your wall of ripoffs. Number 3, get a t-shirt that says, "I survived the AT&T outage and all I got was this t-shirt." Top 5 things you can do with your $5 AT&T reimbursement. Number 2, go to Taco Bell and eat like a god. And the number 1 thing you can do with your AT&T $5 reimbursement, buy 5/6 of a box of Thin Mints. There you have it. It's time to have a little fun on the phones. Good morning. I'm Rock 107's Prospector. Got an email from a woman named Erica who works at a urgent care center and was wondering if I could prank somebody she works with. She was hoping I can get Katie on the phone and have a little fun. So I decided to call Katie with an injury, but mumbled through some of it so she'd have a hard time figuring out what I was talking about. It's another Prospector prank call on Rock 107.
Urgent care, this is Katie. How may I help you?
Yeah, hi, Katie. Listen, I need your help real quick if you got what happened is I cut my thumb. I was slicing some potatoes, and I was pushing down, and it came down, and then all over the place with the blood and right into it. So what I'm wondering is if you think I need to come in or if you think it's okay.
You were cutting your sweet potato, and then can you repeat what happened again after that?
Yeah, so I'm cutting and I put the knife, and I'm pushing down through it, and I kind of sideways a little bit, and then slice, right? So I lifted up my thumb, and you think that's bad enough to come in?
Okay, I'm so sorry. I just need you to repeat that one more time. I'm kind of losing you here a little bit. I'm hearing blood, sweet potatoes, and a thumb.
Is the phone getting cut off? So basically, real quick, I'm cutting potatoes. I push the knife down through the thumb. The knife blade come right into the, and so I'm come all the way in.
All right. So, I mean, with bleeding, obviously you can come in. That's no problem. We'll take a look at you. I mean, is there a lot of blood that's going on? What exactly is
that much? Like maybe if you were to put it like
one more time,
like a tablespoon.
Okay, so you can come on in.
I wrapped it up right, all over it, and that's why I'm wondering if I need stitches or maybe.
How about you just come on down? We're having a hard time understanding you on this end. I think it might just be better if you come on down.
Okay, what part didn't you get?
Again, we got the fact that your thumb is cut, you're bleeding. We're just not understanding how much and where you're bleeding from. If it's just the thumb, if there's anything else.
Okay, I just cut myself on the thumb, so that's the only part of the. And the problem is what I'm worried is if you bend it back, you can definitely right. So if you peel that back, I'm just afraid.
So let me ask you this: is a Band-Aid enough to keep it from bleeding, or do you think that you need to come in and get stitches?
Yeah, exactly right.
Which one?
What's that?
Well, we had two options there, and you said yes. Which option?
100%. Right. That's what I'm trying to figure out, right?
Okay, and that's what we're trying to figure out, and we're trying to help you too, sir. But we're getting minimal information.
Right. I've got all the information you want.
All right. Forgive me here. I'm just having a really tough time understanding what you're saying. So it's making it a little bit hard for me to communicate with you and understand what exactly the problem is.
Right. Exactly.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. So go ahead. Right. What do you think?
I need to know which option you are choosing so that I can give you the best information.
Which one you're choosing is the one you want to know from him or her. Is that right? I'm
so sorry. I'm just a little bit confused here.
It's basically a prosy or not the prosy, okay?
Again, I'm so sorry. I have no clue what that means.
Oh, that's simple. It's like when I call you and it's a prank call that Erica wanted me to make, and then I call you and you're confused like a phone prank on Rock 107.
What?
Katie, Erica asked me to call. Come on, man. You didn't have any idea what was going on, did you?
No, I felt so bad for this poor guy. All I knew was there was a cut, a potato, a bleeding thumb. I had no clue what was going on.
Life's pretty tough right now. There's plenty of bad news, but it's not all bad. It's time for the brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
Can't you just imagine sitting in the theater at Movies 14 and watching a flick about this? A trail camera in Colorado spotted a dog that was lost in an avalanche 11 months ago. His owner almost died in that avalanche and never lost hope that the dog made it out. Now he's hoping to track the dog down and bring him home. People have donated over $40,000 on GoFundMe to make it happen.
Thanks. We needed that. The brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
You can ask for almost anything, and they'll get it for you. Good morning. I'm Rock 107's Prospector. When you're a performer, you might want certain things before you go on to get you in the mood, get your headspace ready, whatever. You tell the venue about it in a rider on your contract. Well, comedian Kevin Hart made news recently when it came out that his rider states Kevin cannot be stuck in traffic, and his concert rider demands police escorts to and from the arena. Van Halen has famously wanted a bowl of M&Ms with all the brown ones removed. Yeah. Food, luxury, transportation. What do you want? What's in your tour rider? That's what I want to know. Facebook.com/Angry Prospector. Sam, plenty of water, coffee, food, and Gatorade during loadout with a break for each department on stage, especially for the hands that work 24 hours straight. I don't want anything in there for myself. I want to take care of the crew that no one ever thinks about. They go to the top of the list. All right. Out of the rock lines, how about you?
The rider would have to be all women, have to be naked. I mean, come on. That's just number one. And then maybe just green M&Ms or what, you know.
Did he say naked? All right, Matt saying I would like a 69 Mercury Cougar XR7. I would drive myself around. I love driving cars. I would not want to be driven around. Benjamin's going simple. Peaches. And Kyle, one pre-chewed stick of Fruit Stripe bubblegum, one tiny bottle of Head & Shoulders washed out and filled with 5-Hour Energy, 2 blueberry boba teas, 1 back massage from my fiance, in parentheses, you negotiate that with her, not me, and probably a hamburger, depending, just have one ready. All right, out of the open mic on the Rock 107 app, what would you have in your rider, you big rock star?
A ton of Trojans. For all the groupies I will be servicing.
Facebook.com/Angry Prospector. Matthew says Rock 107 on the radio and Prospector to yell yam bag at the people we don't like. Al says I would probably want a quiet room for before and after, a shower, things like that. Steve, enough brown M&Ms to fill a brandy glass. On to open mic on the Rock 107 app. You're a famous musician or a famous star. What's in your rider?
I think I would have in my tour rider a lot of marijuana. A lot. And I mean ounces of marijuana.
Bobby says a body double to act like I'm already there. I don't want people bothering me. Good thing you went and got famous, Bobby. Last week, did it bother you? If so, they've got a new tool, something new that works a lot better and costs less.
AT&T introduces their new landline telephones. The sound is clear as a bell. No cell service or internet connection needed. Just plug it in and go. You can turn the ringer down, but you can't turn it off. Rotary dial or push button. Comes in a variety of colors and styles, like desktop black or the princess model. It even lets your friends know you're already on the line with someone else. So convenient. Order yours with an extra long cord so your teens can sit in a closet down the hall to talk privately with their friends. Plus, it helps you get exercise when you walk to it every time it rings.
Hello?
And hard to believe, many residences are already wired. Millennials agree. Who needs faulty technology when you got the landline? New, kind of, from AT&T.
Bag of the day stories today. The phrase crackhead rocket launcher was in a story. I got a call from a guy named Kimu who said, "Hey, Prospector, that movie just writes itself." So you know what? I went and wrote the movie. Get ready for the cinematic experience of a lifetime. Introducing the blockbuster sensation that's blowing up screens, Crackhead Rocket Launcher. Picture this, in a world where rocket launchers are handed out like candy and crackheads are the unexpected heroes we never knew we needed, there's roller coasters of chaos, confusion, and combustibility. Get ready for the mind-bending plot twist, explosive action sequence, and a soundtrack that'll make you say, is this a movie or a rocket launcher concert? Critics are calling it the most absurdly entertaining film of the minute. So grab your tickets now, buckle up and prepare for the wildest ride of your life, Crackhead Rocket Launcher, because sometimes all you need is a little explosion in your life.
Ladies and gentlemen, grab the kids, call your neighbors, and gather round the radio.
It's now time to announce the winner of Prospector's Jam Bag of the Day, as decided by you at rock107.com.
We uncover the most baffling, ridiculous, pathetic, cockeyed, laughable, preposterous blunders in the world of misdeeds. Nominee number 1.
If someone tells you, I have a rocket launcher in my car, you might respond, are you smoking crack? Well, for this guy, the answer was yeah. Police were called to the parking lot of a Red Roof Inn in Massachusetts last week to investigate a suspicious vehicle. It's unclear what seems strange about it, but the witness was right. The cops approached and talked to the driver and saw some potential drug paraphernalia. So then they searched the car and they found crack cocaine and an M190 U.S. Army rocket launcher. The driver, Harvey Johnson, was arrested and charged with possession of crack cocaine and possession of an incendiary device. The rocket launcher was turned over to the ATF.
Nominee number 2.
You know when Karens demand to talk to the manager, but they're still behaving in a way that won't get any sympathy? Well, this is the stupid criminal version of that. A 42-year-old man in Canada was arrested on Tuesday last week when someone called the police to say he was causing a disturbance in a restaurant. He was intoxicated and refused to leave, so the cops wrote him up. And then they drove him home. But the man was still fuming. Shortly afterward, he drove himself to the police station and demanded to talk with the supervisor about the previous arrest. He showed signs of impairment, so they made him take a breathalyzer, which he failed. So they arrested him again, this time for DUI, and took away his license.
And the winner is
the man who was caught with crack cocaine in his car and a rocket launcher. You are the Yam Bag of the Day, and we'll move on to Friday's Yam Bag of the Week competition. Keep it here for all the nominees for Prospector's Yam Bag of the Day, weekday mornings on Rock 107. Thanks for listening to Prospector's Prime Cuts podcast. Be sure to catch us live weekdays from 5:30 to 10 a.m. on Rock 107 or online at rock107.com or the Rock 107 app, a free download for your Android or iPhone. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, or wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss Prospector's Prime Cuts.